It's an outrage that this is happening.
This is about to become the worst environmental disaster in the history of the United States.
I am angry today. Today is a terrible day in the state of Florida and throughout the United States.
But now we're talking about something that can be more devastating than a Category 5 hurricane hitting square in like Andrew.
We know the oil's out there. We know it has a chance, a real chance, to wash up on our shores. We should have a plan in place now. What are we going to do if that gets into the loop and starts heading our way?
This invisible poison, this invisible toxic brew that's going through the Gulf is not visible but underground and going with the currents. And they're going to slowly kill the fisheries and the wildlife and the reefs. And you won't even know it's happening.
Some act surprised that this happened. And when you drill a hole into the ground a mile below the sea and then go another 10,000 feet below and you lose control of it, that to me is something that should have been expected.
I can't stand to think that something we're doing out there could harm the animals and harm our water.
The beach is absolutely incredibly important to me. You know, it's one of the main reasons I live here in South Florida.
Today in the Gulf, the horrible oil spill is about to hit Louisiana. It's going to be devastating, but it's not going to end there, unfortunately.
The oil that is in the Gulf right now was far away from Florida, and we are praying, literally praying, that it does not destroy our beautiful ecosystem and damage permanently our state's economy. We are praying right now. Imagine had that spill occurred 4 miles from Florida. If the oil lobby has an opportunity to put rigs within 4 miles of our coast, they will.
The issue of this oil slick is something that we need to be prepared to deal with. That in Broward, they're preparing for booms, they're preparing for the worst, and I don't see that happening at the level that I'm comfortable with in Miami Beach and Miami-Dade County.
And I'm angry that people have not looked out for our rights. So today is a day to send a public statement to hold our public elected officials accountable for their actions. The thing that draws us all to this community is the beach itself, the weather, the sunshine, and the natural beauty that we have in our city. So we must stand up and we must protect this.
The dispersal chemicals that are being used by the oil companies have not been okayed by the EPA and by our government to be used in the water. The outcome of this is a toxic brew that's being put into the Gulf that when they make contact with the wildlife will kill, maim, and destroy mammals, marine mammals, as well as plankton, as well as coral reefs. 70% of the oil will not be visible because of these dispersals, and that will result in greater death of our wildlife and greater death of our Gulf.
The proposal that is still in Congress to drill another 100 miles closer to Florida is so dangerous to you here because that would bring oil drilling right into the loop current. A spill of any size would immediately send that oil down the highway to the Keys and South Florida.
There's living things in there, and you got to have compassion for them.
We need to stop drilling now. 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 Stop drilling now.